traditionally, the Survivor Series has been a 5v5 competition of teams. Now, the men's team for Survivor Series looks pretty stacked on both sides of the card. And with one subtle change to the SmackDown side of things, we have a very new kind of SmackDown team going up against a honestly, I would favor this stacked card on the Raw side of the superstars with experience and force. But then you look now at the SmackDown side with the addition of Shane O'Mac. Daniel Bryan made that addition 2 weeks ago. How do you feel this SmackDown team looks going into a competition against Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, Chris Jericho, Seth Rollins, and Braun Strowman? That seems pretty stacked to go up against the SmackDown side of AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, Randy Orton, and Bray Wyatt with the addition of Shane O'Mac. Where do you see the scale tipping on this?
It's hard to say. If the scale's going to tip in any favor, I think it's pretty evenly matched in almost every single aspect. But if you're going to try to shift the momentum from one team to the other, it's really hard to say. I mean, if I sat here and analyzed every aspect of the match, I'd be sitting here for an hour. But you got Shane O'Mac, who hasn't been in the ring since WrestleMania, but he's still an agile athlete. You have Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton, who are a cohesive unit, as are Jericho, Chris Jericho, and Kevin Owens. They have the home field advantage. In Canada, there's a lot of things to consider in this contest, but between the two, it's really hard because I think, as we've said before, as I've documented myself on several occasions in the past, I'm a blue brand guy. I'm a Team SmackDown guy for life, so it's hard to say. I think SmackDown will win. I think they could. I want SmackDown to win. It's hard to say who will win, though. I think a real prediction between who I want to win and who will win is a real difference there.
This doesn't seem to be an underdog story here. This is a clash of true top superstars in the company on either side right now, and with the streaks, the sheer dominance that Roman Reigns has had over his matches of recent, the combination, like you were saying, of KO and Jericho, getting both of their matches over by that kind of teamwork. Seth Rollins, certainly explosiveness and puts it to the grills of every one of these people every single week on Raw. And then you have just Braun Strowman, the monster, just wrecking crew coming through like all of this. I don't see that same type of breakdown on the SmackDown side of things. And I think that's kind of what Daniel Bryan was thinking, putting Shane in that position of maybe Shane is the type of person that will help motivate and organize and completely normalize all of this. But I think losing Baron Corbin, you lose a huge tool. You lose this huge resource in this big, venomous, overbearing athlete coming in with a chip on his shoulder. Doesn't need to survive anything. It is going to make other people suffer and beg for their survival. I don't see Shane having that in him to go after people like that. He's very colorful. He's a daredevil, but that does not make you a success as a team member. Mm-hmm. Throwing yourself in harm's way in this scenario could cost your team the win. So without that big pillar on the team, I think it weakens them for me. And I thought that Daniel Bryan had an opportunity to replace Baron Corbin with a huge presence that would completely round out this team. A phenomenal presence, if you will. The Undertaker. And it seems like they just missed that boat by a week. Had they pushed off this decision to the 900th episode, I think we may have seen The Undertaker in a Survivor Series setting where he himself admitted, this is where I was born. And now I guess he's just going to go back to his birthplace and just check it out.
He'll just be watching from Death Valley.
He'll just be tuning in on the WWE network from Death Valley.
Couch in Death Valley,
So that was a bit of a surprise to me. I thought, if you had The Undertaker on your team, how do you lose? How do you go into this and lose? I mean, all of these men would fear The Undertaker. All of them. And to have that force on your side in combination with Bray Wyatt, in combination with a Randy Orton following Bray Wyatt, in combination with Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles getting along, how does that not work? But now you add Shane McMahon in there, and everyone's got a lot of respect for the guy, but at the end of the day, he's either covering your back or he's hurt on the sidelines, and he's not a full-time wrestler. So I have to say that right now the Raw side of things is looking a lot stronger. What do you think?
I think so. I think you made a great point about Braun Strowman. I think if there was anyone on Team SmackDown that could have Braun Strowman in terms of size and sheer strength, it was Baron Corbin before he got injured. But then I remembered who else is on Team SmackDown. You got Bray Wyatt, and I don't think anyone knows Braun Strowman better than Bray Wyatt, the man who brought him into WWE to begin with. So that's going to be an interesting factor there. If you got the Shield members, which I completely forgot about, you got Roman and Seth on Raw, Dean Ambrose on SmackDown. How will that factor into the finish there? There's a lot of things to look out for, and also I forgot to mention, neglected to mention, the fact that Ambrose and AJ, they have a WWE title match against one another in a TLC match 2 weeks after this pay-per-view. 2 weeks from Sunday, they meet for the WWE title in a TLC match. Will they want to preserve their bodies? Will AJ walk out? You got a team captain in AJ Styles, who in the past has been a very cowardly champion. Would you want to rely on him to lead your team? But then again, the same thing can be said about Kevin Owens. That's what I'm saying. It's very evenly matched, but I do agree. I think Raw might have the slight advantage. I mean, they got the better of Team SmackDown on Raw, and then Raw did not do anything, or rather, SmackDown did not do anything to counter that on Tuesday night. So I got to give the edge to Raw, and I do think my official prediction is that they win.
I think we see Braun Strowman play a huge factor in clearing the ring.
Just like he did on Monday. I was going to say that too. I'm sorry. I was going to say he had a great showing on Monday night. Really strong stuff.
I would say between Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins, the rest of the Raw team is going to get the job done and make sure that everybody on SmackDown side is beaten down as much as possible. Braun Strowman's going to go through and make sure that everyone's down, and Seth Rollins could be the guy to pick up the win. I think if there's going to be anybody that gets that actual final pinfall, I mean, you have to remember this is elimination rules, correct?
Yes.
Yes, that final pinfall is going to go to somebody. And they are going to win that for their team, but they're also going to walk away with the definitive win in pinfall for Survivor Series. That's got to be a feather in a lot of people's caps. And when you're going in, when you're all champions, when none of that matters, and you're going in, and what is on the line? Your pride for the team that you're representing, and then above all else, that you were the best of the best on that team. And who is constantly throwing down our throats that he is the man? Seth Rollins. I'm predicting right now that Seth Rollins is the man pinning someone from Team SmackDown for that win.
Bold prediction. I was going to say he's been kind of overlooked. I mean, if you look at it, he was the final and fifth guy added to Team Raw. I mean, he's been kind of overlooked in favor of Jericho, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, as you said. Seth Rollins could really have, not a breakout performance, the guy's a former two-time WWE champion, but I think he could be the last one standing. I can't say who's going to be the last one.
He's an architect. He's so clever in these scenarios that he just reads the situation so well that he ends up, because if his only motivation is to be the man and be at top, then he will find that positioning and find those holes to jump in and overstep other people and make sure that he's the one at the end getting that 1, 2, 3. Kevin Owens doesn't need that. Kevin Owens is the Universal Champion. Whether he wins this match, loses this match, his team loses, he can easily blame that on somebody else. But he does not need this pinfall to prove anything to anybody. Roman Reigns, he's a champion himself. He's a U.S. champion right now. He's going to go back to thinking about being the U.S. champion as soon as this is over. Chris Jericho is obviously tethered to Kevin Owens at this point, and I would be surprised if he didn't have his sights set on at least a piece of gold somewhere along the line. And Braun Strowman seems pretty content just ripping people apart. So there's really only one person on that team that I see has the motivation to want to beat Team SmackDown definitively and be the man that comes out on top, that can always say, I beat you all single-handedly and these chumps just barely could carry my boots. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So it'll be interesting to see. I could also see AJ Styles, the face that runs the place over on the Blue brand, having the exact same kind of night.
I think the key word there is motivation. I mean, Seth Rollins did hint at, only ever so slightly, you blink and you missed it. If you went to the bathroom for like 5 seconds, you would have missed it. Seth Rollins did say on Raw a few weeks ago that the only reason why he went to Team Raw, why he was added to Team Raw, was because could have been the chance of him getting a future title shot down the line. So if he is the sole survivor for his team, that could lead to another match against Kevin Owens, which currently, right now, he does not earn. He does not deserve.
No.
He lost a Clash. He lost at Hell in a Cell. And even on the SmackDown side of things, too, that motivation for Team Raw, specifically for Seth Rollins, is kind of the equivalent to the pressure that Team SmackDown is facing right now. You mentioned it before, The Undertaker. He said, if you guys lose on Sunday, you will feel my wrath. What does that got to mean for AJ Styles? The Phenom versus Phenomenal one, maybe down the line, could be an amazing matchup, an amazing face-off of epic proportions, but AJ's got that weight on his shoulders. SmackDown is really trying to establish its own identity right now compared to Raw. Raw, like you said, like Kevin Owens, like you said, he already has something. He's already the Universal Champion. He has nothing to prove. Raw has nothing to prove. They are the flagship show. SmackDown does have something to prove, and they have to win this match on Sunday.
Yes, and I don't think that necessarily just makes them an underdog because they have something to prove. I think that they have something to prove. They're not coming in this as, fan favorites or anything. This is the best of the best. You have something to prove. If you come out here and each one of you perform at the top level that we all know that you do, then you certainly can walk away with this win. But I like the Undertaker said, what looms in the future is my wrath. So maybe that's motivation in itself.
Yeah.